What's up, everybody? What's up? It's your favorite icon in the building. So, I'm trying to get ready to be on this particular situation right now. We are live on YouTube, on StreamYard. You already know what time it is. Yes. So let me get this a little. Hey, that one up. This your favorite icon up in the building. It's going down. Judy Brown. We here to talk about it today. We want to talk about mind games. Yeah, mind games. All right, there. We on top of it right here. We doing what we doing, man. Welcome to today's show. I am yours truly, the Icon6, and this is We Are the City podcast. You understand me? Yesterday I did some work over here, and for some reason it wouldn't download um, the material, the content that I dropped, and that was kind of funny to me. You know what that was. So um, I want to try to redo. Not that I'll be able to duplicate yesterday's show because I was locked in a whole different type of way, talking about what I was talking about, and today really isn't any different, other than the fact that I would like to reintroduce myself because I've dabbled and dabbled over here quite a few times. Let me see if I can get this right. Quite a few times, since I've been on YouTube. I had another account. So I had to redo it based off my phone situations and services and switch overs and things like that. But I've been present here and there. So, I first of all want to say that I'm thankful to the Most High that I can be here in the capacity that I'm here, um, as a brother, as a friend, as a father who's most certainly going through it right now, when it comes to that. And that'll make sense to you when you understand my story. I am a survivor of federal prison. I spent 28 years, 1 and 2 weeks there, um, 6 months halfway house in Ocala, Florida. Shout out to Ocala, Florida. 6 months home confinement right here in Jacksonville, and completed 60 months of supervised release. So I've really been entangled with the federal system for 34 years. Finally was able to, for all intents and purposes for this conversation, regain what they call freedom, which is really not freedom to me, but it's definitely a different space to be in with the system itself as a so-called free person, not having that over my head right now. So, I wasn't really present in my children's life like that. My daughter and my son. My son right now is going through it himself in a state facility. This is his fourth time. So it's a lot of different things that be going on that really takes the mind focus to places where you really treading on some thin ice, to say the least. You're treading on some thin ice. A lot of pressing things that hit the mind. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of pressing things. How to figure out the readjustments because I was a teenager when I was arrested. You know, and I walked out of prison at the age of 47. So I was blessed. I am blessed to be 53. Birthday is in April. And I want to share my story, man. I want to talk about my beginnings. I want to talk about the different aspects of what I saw as a young quote unquote black person, which I don't really subscribe to those constructs. I only use them because of the understanding that most of the people have when it comes to identifications of the different so-called races, ethnicities, and things of that nature, which is a part of social constructing. And I like to get into that, a lot. But anyway, um, I'm gonna be talking about um, a few things pertaining to mind games and stuff like that, and what that means. And I'm gonna also uh, try my best to play a couple of games that we can get some commentary. It's coming other places, more studious persons or professional people that study, even though we have to take what people say with a grain of salt. And I'm no different. I'm not coming here pretending like I know everything. I'm not coming here pretending like I'm the smartest person, the most researched person, but I am coming as a participant of life in the system that we live upon, the United States Corporation of America. So I think in that regard, I do have a thing to share, to say, right? So let me see something. I'm going to use a couple of sound bites inside of here. Then I want to really get into the psychology of what's happening when it comes to our thought processes, what's influencing us, what kind of marketing is going on, and why we really do and say the things that we do and say. Why aren't we getting type of outcomes that bring peace and stability, comfort in most cases? We have people that have individual levels and still be going through it. But when you think about the bigger deals in society, um, whether that's the domestic violence that go inside of this country, you know what I'm saying, the politics, the have nots, those are looked at as the lowest part of our society, and um, the big business that go on in this corporate structure called the United States Corporation of the America. I know some people say you can't call the United States a corporate structure because it's not set up like you know the traditional businesses or business modules that they gave us, models that they gave us to understand what business is. But hey, listen, if it's not natural, meaning if it's not produced by the earth, if man made it, and if man gave it a meaning and a direction other than the nature and the laws that govern nature, trust me, it's a made up entity, and based on their rules and their laws, they have copywritten, trademark, symbols, signs, all kinds of stuff, and other stuff they just put out there, and it's hot. Nobody really knows how to challenge it, but the people who are well versed and well studied in the knowledge of what these government systems are in the first place, whether that's capitalism, whether that's communism or socialism. These are the components, three chief heads of what dominates the world's mentality of people. So, without further ado, we're gonna get into some stuff. Let's get it.
So devastatingly effective. When someone asks a question, most people respond immediately. When they speak, they fill every second with words. But silence, conscious, controlled silence, changes the emotional rhythm. Pausing before you speak makes you seem thoughtful, grounded, and harder to read. Pausing after you speak makes your words hang in the air, forcing the other person to sit with them, absorb them, react to them. The longer the silence, the more pressure builds, and the one who controls that pressure controls the conversation. Skilled negotiators, therapists, interrogators, and dominant leaders all use this technique. The pause makes you unpredictable. It gives you time to observe while others reveal themselves. It allows you to listen more and speak less, but with impact. The deliberate pause also causes the other person to second guess their own behavior. Did they say too much? Not enough. Are you judging them? Agreeing with them? They don't know. And that
Want to pause with the deal with the word that you gaslighting. Gaslighting became a word that started to be disseminated in societies as people trying to take advantage of people's intelligence, or trying to, in some kind of way, manipulate people's mind into believing that what they were actually thinking was wrong based off of perception coming from the person that was talking to. You know, it's like someone came to me and I told them that my name was wrong, and they tried to tell me, "No, your name is not wrong. Um, technically, your name is Kevin." And I can say, well, based on the system and identification purposes, that's what's on the certificate. Not truly, technically, I'm not Ron. What is Ron? But a name that was made up by somebody. Like I said, if it don't uh, coincide or is not in congruence with nature and the laws that govern nature, then it's a man-made particular thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but they can say, yeah, your name is not Ron technically, but technically it is if we look at it based on the system. Or let's use another. Maybe that was the best one to use when it comes to gas. I know a lot of people can give commentary to themselves, but trying to make somebody else believe that what they think is wrong based on someone else's perception and how to try to use that against you to make you feel dumb or, or wrong or something like that when you're actually right. You know, and it's gaslighting. It's like being in a relationship and you have a woman in your life who you like, uh, and she's telling you she likes you and y'all together. But for real, she has another love source or another interest somewhere else. And you can start seeing some of the signs that it go both ways, vice versa. Because you could be a good woman with a dude that's the same thing, and you instinctively feel something is off. And then you start to notice things, and then you start to see subtle signs and evidence start to appear, and you bring that to a person, not in a confrontational way per se, but in a way that, hey, these things are happening. I'm seeing this, but this is somebody that you say you like, you love, whatever, and you step in it. Oh no, that ain't what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen that this person, I passed through the store. All I said was hello to them. They told me about some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, so I looked and that could be, it could be a lot. If you have the evidence or you have the feeling and you research it, but if you show receipts and they still sitting there trying to tell you stuff different that you just looking at the phone, they try to gaslight you, and then they'll try to turn around and make you feel bad about what they're trying to gaslight you on. They peeing on you and telling you that it's raining. Well, no, you can't do that. That's something we don't want to do. So we want to pay attention to how these things get set up through socially constructed ways, institutions of learning, and the behavior patterns we put out into the communities and societies based on where you're at on the totem pole of the systems. That comes with titles. You understand me? Some of the main titles that now that have us in conflict with one another, not just here in this country but abroad, is colorism. You know, we play the constructed game, the socially constructed game of colorism. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm white, I'm yellow, red, or whatever, you know, we want to call ourselves these days. But as soon as we start dropping these titles, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, um, um, I'm Jewish, I'm whatever, I'm Rastafarian, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm saying something is wrong, because some people can find something wrong about all of these things that I just said. But what I'm saying is, if the title is causing us the conflict based off the title itself because it's a different name, uh, and it's of different uh, value systems through traditions and rituals. And if the traditions and rituals are causing us to have a disagreement based on perception due to title or manuscript and definitions, then something's wrong with that. And please go back and listen to what I'm saying so you can get deep into what I'm saying. Like we got to peel the layers back now of a system that has thoroughly brainwashed us all. They got to run around here calling ourselves white supremacists, black supremacists, calling ourselves Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, and whatever title that we can come up that could be used to be divisive. You know, maybe these titles wouldn't be so bad if they were so divisive, if they didn't divide us, if they didn't make us think we were different, and if they didn't subject the mind to give it ownership to people who have not earned it, who does not know what to do with that power in the way of helping people, but take it for themselves while everybody else below them suffers. Uh, while we working in these areas for people instead of taking this land and cultivating this land to feed ourselves, maintain ourselves, to sustain ourselves, because that's what the Creator created it for. This fish has to eat, it needs the oxygen, and it needs the uh, water and shit, so it can be safe, it can thrive, it can do what it needs to do. But again, we need to understand how this whole system that came about and the mentality that created it, and we are being affected by it because we are the holders of the mentality. And we are actually the instruments that are being used in our own as we become agents marketers in our own destruction. I think that's a worthy subject topic when it comes up in any era of time until we get understanding of it.
Uncertainty makes them pliable. This isn't about awkwardness, it's about calculated restraint. Most people speak to be heard. Those who pause speak to be obeyed. Silence becomes a blade that slices through noise, forcing the other person to lean in, to chase your response, to prove themselves worthy of your next word. The open palm trick. The open palm trick is one of the most powerful nonverbal psychological techniques for instantly lowering resistance and building unconscious trust. It's based on a simple ancient truth. When people see your open hands, they instinctively feel safer around you. At its core, this trick uses subtle body language to bypass the thinking brain and influence the emotional brain, the part responsible for fear, threat detection, and gut reaction. And it works in less than a second. Throughout history, showing empty hands has signaled peace. No weapons, no threat, no deception. This primal association still lives deep within our nervous system. When someone hides their hands, the brain senses danger. But when you gesture with palms facing up or open at your side, even briefly, it sends a subconscious message: I am not a threat. I can be trusted. I'm safe. And that single cue can shift how someone sees you, even if they don't know why they feel it. Skilled speakers, interrogators, and influencers use this without ever mentioning it. In a negotiation, displaying your hands while talking suggests transparency. In a tense conversation, placing your palms upward while making a point makes the other person more likely to agree.
Let's stop right there and let's take a look at that. The suggestion, perception of what would possibly make us feel safe in the presence of others or non-safe in the presence of others. As they were using the analogy of if a person had their hands behind their back, as opposed to having their hands in front of them with that you can see. You know what I'm saying? To understand how psychological warfare is demonstrated. If somebody walked up to me, first of all, I would know them. We got to learn how to think for real. If somebody's walking towards me and I don't know, automatically I'm gonna be on guard, at least of my surroundings. I see the person, I don't know what they're doing. It's not my job to be out here trying to do what some people be doing. They get caught on camera all the time. They're trying to be police, citizen police arrests and all kinds of stuff, and end up hurting people based off some biases that they have, but trying to use the law as the excuse to intimidate and violate and hurt people, unalive people. And these things have to stop. I don't care who's doing it. And we know who's doing it the most out here. You know what I'm saying? And that needs to come to a stop. But here's the trick that I can see. Naturally, you would think if someone was coming in the hand, you see them, they don't look like they pose a threat. That doesn't mean that they don't pose a threat. Because one thing that you're not able to tap into most of the time is what is the person thinking. A person can have their hands behind their back. That would seem strange. Why you got your hands behind your back? Maybe that's how they like to stand. Maybe, but if you are aware, if you're moving and you're being observant, you know what I'm saying, and don't have your head all to your phone, your device. I see people walk with their devices in their hand, driving with devices in their hand, and they be so into whatever is on the screen and social media or text or whatever it is that they don't see what's in front of them. That poses a threat in and of itself. You got your head into something, you ain't paying attention, you can bring harm to yourself because you're not paying attention to your surroundings. Okay? What does this got to do with what men want and what women want? And how does this affect our communities? It has a lot to do with men and women and where we stand, why we go through things, why the community looks the way that it looks. You know what I'm saying? It's based off what we're talking about now, mind games. How people can use your brain to make you think the opposite of what it really is. So if you don't have control of the faculties of your own mind, then they get to manipulate that in some form of fashion. And they're going to do everything that they can to do that. Billions and trillions of dollars spent every day in that illusion of money to keep us ignorant in the first place. And this is how these tools are used. And it's not some fairy tale, it's not some fantastic foolishness when you see the reality of what it is, but then you'll begin to understand it has no power to hurt or help. Really. The hurt and the help often come from the individual and the people. If you don't place no value in money, it becomes valueless. Just like if you don't place no value in yourself, you become valueless. You're gonna start doing valueless things. If you don't place value in other people, then they become valueless. That means you can do whatever you feel in your mind you want to do them. You don't see them having any value. So you might step on them, you might spit on them, you might hurt them, you might beat them, you might a different way of different things that happen to human beings on a daily basis that should be happening. Pedophilia is at an all-time high. And it ain't it did. The thing that we witnessing and things that are being exposed in entertainment and in the back rooms of the elites, um, who have taken charge and planted themselves in the place of the Most High, and they're not. They put themselves in a Most High position over everybody else through their trick box, but there's a Most High that governs them, the spaces to do certain things, whether it's wrong or right. The wrong that they do, the right that they do present itself, and that goes for every animate or that's just what it is. So just because somebody have their hands like this, it might not physically your eye look like it. And I'd rather see like until in stuff behind your back where you might have blood or something, but I don't want to rush to judgment. Try to have it right and patient as long as you can have it. The thing is just well, because open don't always mean safety. And always remember, not paying attention to what's around it. If somebody's coming toward you, you coming toward them, you can see what's behind them, but you can't see what's behind yourself. You don't know what orchestrated around you. I remember this. The FBI in the city to arrest me. They had people hidden all around that area that I stayed. All the people yards behind trees, behind cars. They set the trap, and two officers that actually I approached because I approached them. This is in a story that I'll get to one day, and they looked homeless. They ain't there to arrest me, but they were. They came with the open arm. They let me see them. They didn't have no lights on. They ain't say put your hands up, you're under arrest. None of that stuff. They wanted to get me. comfortable in the illusion like it was nothing, when it was a whole platoon of people around ready to take me down, and that was armed to the teeth. And I really think my lucky stars, some people say, count my blessings, that I wasn't injured that day, nor son's mother, and my son, whoever was around us, because that could have been really bad for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So whether the hand is out, whether the hand is behind, be a thinking person. Know why you out in the society doing what you do, and always be aware that things can happen. And saying that you have a outing when you go out, because we just have some time and enjoy. We don't want to be to rob us, come up to us having some skills, because they feel like a certain ethnicity should be here, or a certain um, political minded person should be here, or people with bigotry, people just being inferior. And through that inferiority, you're doing things because you place value on life and things, especially your own, and that causes a lot of pain to a lot of families and a lot of to the self that goes through that.
Even in casual interaction, resting your hands with open palms on the table builds rapport faster than any scripted line. And in high stakes scenarios, flashing open palms before delivering bad news can reduce emotional fallout. This trick is also dangerously effective in manipulation. Con artists, leaders, and scammers use it to fake honesty, knowing the brain trusts the gesture even if the words are lies. It's why someone can be directly to your face, yet something about their body makes you want to believe them. That something is often their hand. And once your guard is down, it's already too late. The
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking, and that's the part I want to get to, and I'm glad that they got to that part. You know what I'm saying? To address, not just address, you gotta be aware of the manipulation that can happen when somebody is faking a piece. You don't know that it's fake. You know what I'm saying? We both men and women, we instill these things in our children, and the children that are around us, that in earshot of what we're saying, and have vision that they can see what we're doing. They pick up a lot of these habits, these unnatural bad habits that could be devastating when it comes to loss of life, loss of freedom, loss of property, loss of happiness, loss of ability and security. And that's pretty much, I'm gonna be modest here, maybe 80% of it, and it could be more. I'm not here to get to statistical things at this moment because I don't have data in front of me that back up what I'm saying. So I'm guesstimating some things and saying some opinions, and I'll give some facts based off my experience, of course. But yeah, when we're moving in that fashion, you better keep your head on the swivel out here. It's just that simple. I don't care. We have to become leaders of people. I try to keep my distance away from people. I don't really know you. I'm not so quick as I used to be to wanna be in that space because I experienced some things in my life that, even though it was poor decision making led me to federal, uh, a plethora of other things got away with. I thought I got away with and got me in the end. Like they say, you reap what you sow. If you make your bed, and I made a hard bed for myself, and I reaped a bunch of bitterness. But I had to learn how to take that and turn it into lemonade. And so I'm back out with grace extended to me that I can come and do something productive with the experience that I had. And that's sharing now because I didn't know social construct and negative programming and what that meant, and how they use institutions of learning to put these things down and put it into effect. Who were the key players? We was thinking about Mickey Mouse stuff, man. We were thinking about going to Disney World. Saying we was thinking about our latest cartoon or the different toys that we got. We was looking forward to Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and New Year's and Valentine's. We always waiting on something that they bring forth. commercial system of paper, system of ideas put on paper that was given life, that became an entity in and of itself, God to us. Christmas is like God to us and to our children. You know, we participate and we participate 100% wholeheartedly. Um, Halloween is about in a few more days here. Going out to buy masks. We're gonna have parties and candies and our children coming dressed in ghouls. Nowadays, it ain't even ghouls and goblins. You be dressed up in anything, and I don't see the harm in that other than the fact of the principal root of where the idea came from and the symbolic meanings and factual meanings that are hidden from the average person out here that begins to celebrate and get into these frequencies without even knowing what it is and how diabolical it can be to the mind, devastating mind that you're around that promotes goriness, monsters, made up. And when it comes just for a brief moment, and I'm finna say something, and it's not just apply to women, it apply to men too. We in costume every day. Y'all. Hello.
Brother Ron,
Yes, sir.
go check out.
Yeah, I did. I was talking to my sister about it. I was gonna get you up after I got out this broadcast. I'm over here on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It need it, I can give you all. I talked to the lady. Um, Okay. So, okay, I had to take that call. That was actually my brother, my friend, my boss, the owner of Matrix Solutions LLC, 2020 LLC. You can look them up right here in Jacksonville, commercial cleanings. If you have businesses that need cleaning, um, and things of that nature, he's the one to get it done. They have nice contracts out here, levels, especially for military acquisitions. The brother a um, is and was part of the armed services. I believe was the army, so he's a veteran at that. And coming trying to do this part, and I met in a dark space in life, and so we came from the same root. I ride. His name is Anthony Manigo. The name of the company is Matrix Solutions, 2020 LLC. If you're in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, surrounding county, we got a few contracts. The lower part of Georgia that's connected to Florida. So be sure if you're in this way, you want work done, look again. That's Solutions 2020 LLC, right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Um, and back to where I was at, we most certainly want to put my do not disturbs on this. We want to make sure that we are paying attention to the smallest things that could be considered minute to the bigger things that could be perplexing and complicated. Don't rush. We need to stop and really pay attention to what's happening, what's being said to us, what kind of magic is being played, through televisions, through social media, through the music. I understand what frequencies are. Shout out to the CNTGs. As a matter of fact, please forgive me. I would be remiss if I do this if I did not, acknowledge my team. One Dove, back. We are Circle of the Gods, and we definitely trying to make some effort to bring that circle over to YouTube. I got two brothers, man. These brothers are well studied. We come from different walks of life, up under the country. Dub is my residential white guy. I'm the residential black guy. My partner, Silverback, he's residential. He's black and white. So we come from a different walk. We have so much in common when it comes to our love of truth and the experience that we had and where our journey took us and what we gathered from that we get to come back and report content in social media if we're allowed to. So let's get back.
Confusion anchor. The confusion anchor is a subtle way to break through a person's mental defenses by disrupting the expected rhythm of conversation. It involves saying something deliberately strange, irrelevant, or unexpected right before making a request, delivering an important message. That sudden moment of mental disorientation throws the brain off balance, creating a psychological pause where the conscious mind loses grip and the subconscious becomes more open to suggestion. In those brief seconds of confusion, influence slips in almost unnoticed. The brain relies on patterns to feel safe. When a conversation flows logically, people stay grounded in their roles: buyer, authority, skeptic, defender. But when that flow is shattered by something that doesn't belong, the brain freezes. A question like, "Did fish ever get thirsty?" in the middle of a negotiation causes a tiny mental malfunction. And while the mind is still rebooting, you make your move. The confusion becomes the anchor, softening resistance, lowering defenses, and allowing a different tone to take hold. This technique shows up in strange places and often during interrogation, a childlike question in a heated argument, a surreal observation during a sales pitch. It doesn't have to make sense. In fact, it's better if it doesn't. The goal isn't to be understood, it's to disrupt. And once the disruption takes hold, the other person's emotional charge starts to drain. Their logic resets, and they begin responding from a softer, more uncertain place. Used carefully, the confusion doesn't just shake someone, it repositions them. It shifts the energy from resistance to reset, guarded to suggestible. Most people won't even notice what happened. They'll just remember feeling momentarily off and oddly ready to.
Listen, you for some of you, I think you probably heard this stuff. The tongue is mightier, or the pen is mightier than the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. Um, for the most part, many of us, uh, outside of oral, instructions, conditioning, when it's verbally given to us, we've been attacked through scripture. And when I say scripture, I'm not just talking about in some religious term, that's a Bible or Quran or some gathering of words from the synagogue, the Talmud, or the Old Testament. We're talking about scripture. Somebody actually using their mentality to jot things down with ink or with colorings on paper or stone, which is the term as language. This is a form Sanskrit was language. Those that the Egyptian brothers that understand that read the hieroglyphics, things of that nature, even the symbols. The symbols are images of things that's talking about things that are happening in nature or things that happen in a spiritual realm that can be seen as well. Because you would know that even if you close your eyes, you still can see a world of things happening. You know what I'm saying? So you know that data is what they call data is being collected in the brain, the house, and that the mind itself has to interpret what these things are. By what standard? This is what we're trying to get to. Are we basing these standards on man-made constructs or most high created constructs? And the difference between the two is man takes on the creation. So that means when he approaches raw nature, he has to find a way to manipulate it in his benefit. It has to always be in his benefit, his or her benefit. Animals instinctively go out and they deal with wild and nature head on. But men and women have been given the capacity to rationalize, use logic, call intelligence or common sense, whatever, and tampering with on a quest to get more enjoyment out of it because we have intelligence to deal with the properties that even like if you found grass, the chlorophyll or what they call chlorophyll in grass, um, finding out what the value of that is in reference to human beings or to animals or to constellations or their system or whatever the case may be. So we have the capacity to do these things, but what happens when the mind, after gaining knowledge, senses an opportunity to use the manipulation, the creation, to trick other people, manipulate other people, deny people. You know what I'm saying? How do you even get that position that somebody can play with your mind like that? You know, people talk about slavery, and slavery just wasn't a North American type of thing, and it was just in the islands of the Caribbean. So these are statements of fact and the type of slavery, chattel slavery, because we didn't do this. We didn't tell you the different forms of slavery. They did. And chattel slavery is different than in indentured servant, and it's different than the slavery that went over on in Europe and what have you. All of it, all of it is a disadvantage and of none benefit to the actual people that's being perpetrated. But we still look at the differences because the differences shows the barbaric nature, the murderous nature, and how for the mind can be evenly bent to do the wickedness that it does, and how we pick up these traits ourselves through this form of conditioning. So I thought that that was very important, just to take a moment out.
Agree. The reverse question. The reverse question is a psychological maneuver that flips pressure back onto the other person by asking them to explain their own stance. Instead of defending yourself, you invite them to unpack their assumptions, and in doing so, expose the weakness in their argument. It works not by confrontation, but by turning curiosity into a trap. When someone challenges you, criticizes you, or tries to assert control, the instinct is to push back, but the reverse question sidesteps that instinct entirely and makes them carry the weight of proof. People don't expect to be asked why they think the way they do. They expect resistance. They expect excuses. But when they say something sharp and you simply respond with, "Why do you say that?" or "What makes you think that's true?" it throws them off script. The burden shifts. Their authority wobbles. They were prepared to attack, not to explain. The moment they begin defending, the dynamic reverses. They are no longer the aggressor, they're the one under the microscope. This technique is unnervingly effective in arguments, interviews, power struggles, and manipulation. It makes others feel their position is being examined, dissected, challenged, not emotionally, but logically. It also forces them to slow down, often leading to contradictions, hesitations, or overcorrections that reveal uncertainty. The reverse question isn't about the answer, it's about the unraveling. The more someone talks, the more they reveal their intentions, insecurities, and gaps in reasoning. The less you say, the more composed and in control you seem. It's a quiet power, asking instead of answering, watching instead of reacting. You create discomfort, not with offense, but with inquiry. And in that discomfort, people show who they really are. The name the name echo is the subtle act of using someone's name throughout a conversation to bypass the defenses and trigger a feel of intimacy, familiarity, and attention. Most people never realize how deeply their name ties into their sense of identity until someone uses it with precision and timing that feels almost surgical. When someone says your name, especially in a moment of emotional intensity or quiet reflection, it pulls your awareness sharply toward you. It tells the subconscious, this is about you. In childhood, a name is often the first symbol of recognition and consequence. Whether it was spoken with love, anger, or it signaled attention. That pattern never fully fades. Adults still react the same way: alert, receptive, emotional, This is why people naturally respond when a name is used in crowded rooms, why they feel closer to those who remember it, and why a stranger who repeats it can feel oddly comforting or alarmingly persuasive.
Okay, we're gonna get ready to talk. I wanted to come and actually do me another test run because, like I said yesterday, I spent almost an hour of my time conversation for some reason to download um, the content on YouTube. It wouldn't take for some reason. I don't understand why that was to attempt to do it again. Just come in and just have a casual conversation about some of the things that I want to talk right here on YouTube. I got to learn more of the do's and don'ts so that I can respect the community over here at YouTube. I would never want to deliberately or intentionally do something that's against the terms of agreement. To the best of my, I don't want to also be in a position where freedom of speech is not being acknowledged and respected as well. I mean, I want to be able to talk plain to the people. I want to be able to tell the truth to the people, even if it goes against some entity that we might like. Saying again, we all have a plethora of different types that we subscribe to. I'm not saying I'm free of it, but I'm so very well what that is that I have reached a level degrees of thinking um, that I don't always be offended by certain things because once I know what the instance and the origin and the root of the thing is and where it I've put myself in a better position to know how to deal with that. You understand what that is. Shout out to my teacher. Um, I definitely had a beautiful upbringing in the spiritual and the mental. Not perfect still, like I said. May not even be executed on all levels of what I know as far as my function, but I do stay close to the tree, to the root from which I came, the supreme mathematics, and the different walks of life, people that I've met that I learned a great deal from because I take the posture of a teacher. I remain a student. That's still this energy comes from this flesh. I'm going to stay in the student mode because I don't ever want to get to the point where I think I know so much that I know it all. And once you reach the zenith of that, you have nowhere to go. You can't go. So the only thing that you can do is descend, stay where you at. And that's not to me. Growth is leaving the mind open to contemplate, discern, down to um, analyze, examine as much and as often as possible to try to get the right angle, context, perceptions, and understanding that will benefit positively. That's what it. With that being said, I want to leave you with things, and we're gonna get back to this as well. Um, where is my? Because I was writing this down so I know when to pick back up when I come back in part two of this. Like I'm playing right now, 3 hour. It's a 3 hour podcast, and I'm only 2 minutes and 8 seconds into it. 12 minutes and 8 seconds into it, and so I can pick and know exactly where I'm supposed to be. You feel me? Yeah. 3 hours, 1 minute, 10 seconds, and we moving on top of that there. And if you want to get into this conversation, also you can go to YouTube, as I say, and look me up. I am the Icon6. Let me put that in the live chat. Well, you can see me right now. Follow because you see this on YouTube already. Just follow the right here, the Icon6, and name of this broadcast right now is one of the greatest psychological tricks to fall asleep to. Different things that non-manipulative, subtle things that you know what's happening to masterful, crafted, minded, manipulate, arch deceivers, smoke stream setters, and people that just really want to be puppet masters over us and direct us to all kinds of wild stuff from the express purpose of having power and control and dominance to be able to, live out their fantasies, no matter how despicable or horrible they may be. You know what I'm saying? And really, you can't even get mad at it because if we allow it to happen, it's our fault. They know that. That's why we set it up there. Whatever you do, whatever if it's not against the grain, again, for the right reasons, uh, and we succumb to it, whether intentionally or unintentionally, there's a price to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? This is war, mental, spiritual war. That's what we have. Keep your head on the swivel because it is dangerous out here. Take yourself at all times because you do have the right to protect yourself and be the leader of the community, which is your mind. Because if you don't use your mind, somebody else. This is the devastating reality of what's happening today. We are so natural and so disconnected from all governed nature that we're actually doing unnatural things that's called disturbance in the universe itself, and the universe to collect. So I would what's the word I want to use? Compel us to try to keep frequencies on positive, seek out truth wherever you find it, sit down sometimes, reflect, get away from social media, get away from people that talk negative talk, and you know it's negative talk. Spend some time with yourself and sit down and ask yourself, what's going on within your kingdom? What's going on within your kingdom or queendom, the dome, your brain? How, what things are you that's causing peace and love and health and what's not? What's causing pain and misery and unhealthy? And you are in charge of it. You're responsible for it. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your boyfriend, not your girlfriend, not your husband, not your wife, not your pastor. These are just uh, 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 housing units of intelligence by each other. And we can give reflection, give comments. But at the end of the day, you live your life with yourself. Anything outside of it in the form of support to help you along the way, somebody can identify and count yourself blessed. Anybody will want to do anything for you or for me or us doing stuff for people. If the spirit don't mean to do it, I don't stop doing that. And I don't do nobody to do nothing because don't nobody whatever I can in the way of any kind of support and help is, and whatever I can give in any kind of way of help and support, it is a blessing. And I thank Almighty for that. All right, gonna get up out of here. It's been nice. It's been cool. It's been real to the degree that it's real. And as I'm not the dope, you know what I'm saying? I will come back because I also did another show while I was playing some music, my freestyles. I got a show called Freestyles with Icon. We're gonna be doing it back on We Are the City podcast. I'm pushing. I put my own copyrights on there so it can be identified. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is my intellectual properties, and I want to share that, of course, with other content creators that's on on. Let's break down psychology and understand how we think the way that we that causes us to do the things that we do, right? Whether that's good or ugly, we need to know what that is, right?
We ain't.
No,
We ain't.
no.
How you feel? I feel great. Hey, boy. Slipping this, slipping this, slipping this. It's the game. Yes. Yes.
Let's do it.
Can I resurrect by watching ads?
Yeah, this is Ebony. Ebony, you got off my screen. For real, y'all. So I'm learning some stuff. I'm gonna end this in a second. I'm learning some stuff about this technology. Please bear with me. Let me put this out there. I'm definitely looking for more people that understand the technology, that understand the engineering part of this here that can perhaps help. I know I have a valid story to tell, one that could be inspirational. I don't know how far that can reach, but I do feel the need to share because I don't want to see people fall off the ledge. Just through their life chasing things that don't exist. We need to get back into reality. So I'm open for that and leave myself open too.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The phone. Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah.
We say each other.
Whatever came,
You say you want,
but I gave you rain.
simply
Mm, here's the fact.
be for me. Even though what you left do is
I did.
ain't no love. Parachute. I came through. You. If they have in the head,
That's a fact.
rolling it, rolling out, rolling it's now. Yes, feel that automatics.
Glad.
The back, round. It's been so easy.
What they talking about? What they talking about? Yeah.
Touch a chick, say something.
We going, y'all. Peace.